My first my first trade was at 642,
I made a note
and
on
I
this
got
day to real quick. I'm just to figure out. I need to I want to study the data or the context on like what's consistent about days like this day because there was too many outliers presenting themselves. So I just wanted to I guess I got to learn that throughout just studying more and getting more data on days like this. Like I'm starting to put a note
oh,
on every day when.
just looking at it,
Yep.
I'm seeing SVP building up. I was just gonna say that compared to either side. If you zoom in, what was there's a 1,000 lot buyer here at 58.83, the biggest buyer. So all morning there was aggressive buying with large SVP building up.
You guys caught a 2 hour supply in the begin, like right before the market opened and pre-market, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, and I missed it because then you guys took trades, I believe, off of that, and then started talking about it, and I was like, "Fuck, why didn't I note that 2 hour down?" And I guess it was like right before market open, and I just missed it because I was already done charting.
Here's
Dude, I
another.
don't know why. I don't even have screenshots for this day or anything. I don't know why.
I know exactly what happened here. Fucked up. 640. All right, right here, I was starting to see. What time was it? It was at 6:42:34. So I think we pop up and then pull back down.
For short?
Yeah, I was watching this 800 lot buyer here at 58.89, and I wanted us to drop down under and continue to the downside. And I have my stop up here at 58. 93 is where I had my stop at. But I was just being too impatient because I got in right when it hit back into this 800 lot buyer rather than waiting for it to drop and retest it. I was anticipating it to do something rather than letting price tell me what it was doing.
I got in at 45.02, so it's coming up.
See, when the price came down into here, I seen us drop under slightly, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get in," and then we popped right back up, and I got stopped. So in this situation,
okay.
what? I was gonna say in this situation, I would have been better off waiting for it to keep coming down and then pop up to get.
What I'm noticing is our pullbacks in earlier this week weren't that good. Both of ours.
You caught a perfect one coming up to this day.
Yeah, I got a $40 win, but that shit was like I don't know why.
But exactly what I just explained is what happened, and that's what you caught. So this is the drop under that 800 lots, and then it pops up on weak buying to retest this 800 lots.
Oh yeah, that I think I might be wrong, but I think once I did that, the next day I said, okay, make sure outlier appears and then let it rally, come back down, and then take the trade up.
Yeah.
Because what I was doing, is these little pullbacks that weren't really pullbacks. That like price wouldn't rally or price wouldn't drop significantly enough to warrant a pullback trade. You know?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And see, this was my second trade. This was my issue with my second trade. It did the pullback, it did the drop, and then popped back up where you got in here, and it came down. But this was my original level. I remember I wanted it to tap 58.90, and it never tapped it, so that's why I personally didn't get in. But then when price came back and I seen you made money, I was like, fuck. And then I remember you got in like at 88 or 89. So
Yeah.
when it came back into this level, I got in earlier than the 90 because I was like, it worked last time, like it has to work. It should work again this time. But what I failed to acknowledge, which is like super key, is that the market had already dropped like 13 points from this entry, and then it pops back up into my level of interest where I wanted to enter. That technically means the trade is invalid now because it popped back into that entry. It basically did the
Oh,
move.
that's right. Because if you put your stop to break even, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh
But
shit, that's another jam, dude.
I tried it short again, and it clearly fucking didn't work, and I got stopped.
Wait, I gotta write that down. That's a fucking jam. What's the hell?
I've been hearing you guys call that out. Can you explain that again, Eric? When you readjust your stop, or what is it that you're saying?
So this is like one of Carmine's key rules that I stole from him was once the market moves 7 points, then you could move your stop to break even. Because if the market comes after moving 7 points and the market comes back to your entry, then technically your setup is invalid
Mm.
because it already made a significant move from your entry, and for it to come back to your entry, uh it invalidates your idea. Whereas if it moved, say 4 points and then came back into your entry and then it popped up again, you still have a chance to for your trade to work out. But after moving 7 points and coming back to your entry, it's a lower probability now. And in this situation, it moved 13 points, basically hit my initial target that I wanted, and then came back to my entry. Yet I still got in again trying to catch that same move. So that's way lower probability than if I would have gotten in where Gabriel got. Now, I don't know how to really explain this so that it's not too complicated, but like this idea of like entering with the 1 to 4 point stop, targeting 10 points and up. The way ES moves, it tends I know this because when I first started trading, I used to mark how much ES would move throughout the whole day. And the most are on average throughout the whole year, it tends to make like there at least last year. I haven't done it this year, but it tends to make like 30-point moves, 40-point moves. On good days, it'll make like a 60-point move. On really good days, it'll make like 100-point move. But for the most part, ES likes to move 30 points. So that idea of like, okay, within those 30 points, let me at least catch 10 points. If you could make your setup where you're risking 4 points to catch 10 points, just that idea of if you take into consideration that the ES moves in a 30-point range for most days, as with that rule of like once the market moves 7 points, let me move my stop to break even, and then you ride it out for the next 10 or the next 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 points to your target. That idea is there's like actual like it's not just like out of thin air that we're coming up with like 7 points and then you move your stop to break even. It's just because of the way the mark ES likes to move. If it moves 7 points, it's either gonna keep going or your idea is wrong and it's gonna come back to your entry and it's gonna keep going down. The way I'm still trying to grasp this idea, but like if you were to do that same concept of like, oh, once NQ moves 7 points, I'm gonna move my stop to break even. It's not gonna work because the way NQ moves is a lot more volatile. So this idea of like the 7 points you move your stop to break even is specifically for ES because of the way it moves throughout the day. I don't know if that makes any sense.
That makes so much sense. Even the fact that it only works for ES, because you can tell that Carmine really detailed his setup plans. He
Exactly.
analyzed ES, he analyzed ES so much that he knew 7 points is the sweet spot.
Yep.
That's
Where
crazy.
I feel like with NQ, it would be more like 12 points.
I
Because
fucking
of how
hate NQ. I would never trade NQ.
I know,
I
and that's where
hate NQ.
Danny.
He trades NQ?
Yeah.
It's because y'all don't got that gut
Hell no.
feeling like he does, bro.
I
But
hate charting it too.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it is chart. I think if like we would have started on NQ the way we did with ES, we would understand those tendencies also. But because we don't stare at it the same way, we don't understand the tendencies as clear.
That's
Hey,
true.
a
But
question.
yeah, dude, that makes sense.
I gotta be honest with y'all. This like sounds like a quitter's mentality, but are y'all still charting equities?
Dude, I deleted my equities.
I was
I
wondering.
took them off.
If you
I'm done
think
with
about
equities.
it, though, if you would have never charted equities the way you did, your swing charting wouldn't be as good as it is.
Oh, I did lose on Apple.
Are you still charting equities, Eric?
The only reason I won is because of you. You're cool. That's it. But yeah, I know
chart
what you're
equities.
talking about.
I'm
That's
still
true.
charting them, but I'm like never looking at them throughout the day of the trading.
Yeah, I mean, I figure on the weekends, I think I'm gonna focus on swing trades. So I'm gonna look at equities more, anyways. So, because on day trades, I really win without looking at it. I don't look at them at all. So I'm like, why am I doing this? And I cut my charting in half. And it's so better, so much better.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that because I end my work day based on like I gotta go home and chart or else it's gonna get too late and I gotta go to sleep at a certain time. But I'm like, if I stop charting equities, I'm like gonna breeze through charting, dude.
Dude, I mean, if you see the confirmations and you take the trades and you know it's an A plus setup, you're confident, which you have been doing, then you don't really need them. But it's of course always better to keep practicing charting.
Yeah.
But I figure I study a bunch now, anyways. Now that I don't have a job, so I'm gonna look at the charts anyways. But you're right; it's all about how like people like live and their work and all that stuff. There's a bunch of variables, but it's up to you. Like how I just said, like we're all separating on our setups, our the way we do things. This is just the direction I'm going. So whatever.
Lazy ass dudes.
I'm not gonna lie, laziness does play a part.
I did say quitter's mentality. I ain't saying I'm gonna stop, but I'm like fuck it. Like it's been part of my process and it's been helping me understand. Like I don't know if it's been helping me directly, but I'm like on a positive trend right now with my trading, so might as well just keep the habits going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not making you worse for sure.
But I do want to talk to y'all
Yeah,
more eventually because y'all are talking a lot about this swing trading stuff, and I'm not even paying attention to that part of the chat because I'll read it, but I
dude.
don't know what's going on. Like I don't have money to invest like that right now.
No,
But
I don't have money either, but I'm paper trading.
okay, yeah, I guess I gotta just kind of. I'm a little more focused on the day trading part, but I know I want to go into what you guys are talking about because yeah, I mean, why not just add to it and. It's cool to get back onto the stocks because if I'm like telling my siblings when to get in at low prices, at least I'll be a little more aware of what's going on if I'm swing trading.
Yeah. I would learn what SMAs are, simple moving averages, at least.
Watch those videos I put in the swing trading vid
Yep.
tab.
Oh yeah, the Desi trades. Yeah, watch those. He'll explain.
Yeah, when I think just when I start getting a little more free time, I'm gonna just start studying that as well. But are we done
I'm
with
just
this one?
happy Oh, are we done?
What?
Are you done with this one, Eric? So
Are
I
we
can just
done?
end the video.
Yeah.
Tight. Keep going.